What if I told you that there is a suburb just minutes from Minneapolis? Most people don't know about it, and home prices have been appreciating almost twice as fast as some of the surrounding communities, and you can get into it for a potentially significantly lower price. I am talking about Hopkins, Minnesota, my friends, and Hopkins is tucked into some of the most expensive suburbs in the metro. It's tucked right in between places like Edina, Minnetonka, and Eden Prairie. And Hopkins delivers the same amazing lifestyle, fantastic walkability, and access to these top tier amenities, but potentially at a fraction of the price. In today's video, I'm going to take you through some of Hopkins' fantastic real estate, show you some of the options, and show you why this place is such a value and why it absolutely needs to be on your radar. All right, so we are going to get this tour rolling here from the northern part of Hopkins, and you're going to want to stick around to the end of this, because at the end of this video, I'm going to try and take a couple minutes and just really lay out why Hopkins sticks out and brings so much value from a real estate standpoint compared to some of its suburban brethren. So make sure you stick around from that. But we're going to start in the northern part of Hopkins, which means we're up on St. Albans Street, which you can see on Google Maps here is right up in the northern tip. And things to know about this part of Hopkins and these neighborhoods. So this is where you're going to find some of the more expensive neighborhood in Hopkins, right up in the northern part. Also down around Oakton Drive and Fairway, you will find some other very nice homes in Hopkins. But what's going to be a bit different about these homes compared to what you will find with the rest of Hopkins, for example, you're going to find much bigger lots. These quieter streets that you can see here, like the one that I'm on with the big wooded trees, no power lines. This feels like a Minnetonka or Edina neighborhood. And these homes that you're going to see here next, they are expensive. But, you know, if they were in places like Minnetonka or Edina, they would likely be significantly more expensive. So let's take a look here at home number one. All right, so this first home for today is going to be this home just to my right. This is going to be a single level, very desirable layout in Minnesota, I should say, is a single level walkout rambler. So this home is built in 1952. It is a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom, 2-car garage, about 3,300 square feet, sitting here at $849,000, and $849,000 is going to be very expensive for Hopkins. Like I mentioned, this is going to be one of the more expensive neighborhoods in Minnetonka. Again, you put this home in Minnetonka or somewhere else, it's probably more expensive. So at 840 grand, he's sitting here at about $260 a square foot. And it's what you would expect in this neighborhood. It's on a 0.93 acre lot. So you've got a very big lot. You've got good separation from your neighbors. You've got very big trees. I've been standing out on this street trying to get this script right for about 5 minutes, and I have yet to see a single car drive by me. So that's going to be some of the flavor that comes with this neighborhood. This house is a very good representation of what you will get. And home number two is going to be just a few blocks, or just a block up the street. So I'm just going to walk up the street here and show you a bit more as we go. So we're just going to head up. Like I mentioned, the next house is right up the street, and it's going to be even more expensive, flirting with probably top end price ranges in Hopkins, but it's a cool home. By the way, if we've never met, my name is Chris. I am a Twin Cities native. Myself, along with my business partner, Trevor, our team, we like to get out into these communities, show you the real estate, show you a little bit of what life is like. It's kind of what we do. Contact information is all right here. It's also down below. If we can ever help you out, please don't be afraid to reach out. So, moving up the street here, I'm going to turn the camera around a little bit just so you guys can kind of see what I see as I go. But you can begin to see just how big these lots are and how quiet it is. Just a really nice place if you've got a family, if you've got kids. It's kind of quintessential picturesque America. The kids can ride their bikes down the street, neighbors say hello, all those kind of good things. So our next house, and I apologize, I know it's going to be hard to see a little bit here from the road, is going to be this one here behind me. And for Hopkins, this is kind of getting to top of the food chain for pricing. This is basically for sale at $1.7 million. And what you need to know about this is this property is also on almost 5 acres, has no rear neighbors. You can find that right in the middle of Hopkins, has 9 Mile Creek running through the backyard. So the property itself is big and very desirable. Then you've got this home built in 1941, 5-bed, 4-bath, 4-car garage, right around 5,300 square feet at 1.7 million, is putting this at right about $325 per square foot. Beautiful home. Cedar shake roof, which I think are absolutely beautiful. That's kind of one of the giveaways when you start getting up into these higher price range. But absolutely beautiful home. Again, you can see the tree-lined streets, all the good stuff coming with it. The neighbors still drive by and give you funny looks like the one just did to me. But great spot. If you want a neighborhood like this and you don't want to pay Minnetonka and Edina prices, be looking in that northern quadrant of Hopkins. Sneaky good deals. So the numbers bear it out too. I just want to show you guys, check out some numbers on the real estate related to Hopkins when you start comparing it to our fancy suburban brethren. So what we're looking at here is the local MLS numbers from August of 2025. We're looking across all price ranges, across all property types. So that's going to be including, single family homes, condos, things of that nature. New construction types, the whole 9 yards. Okay, so as of August of 2025, median sales price for homes at the top of the heap here, not surprisingly, we have Edina way out in front at $651,000 for a median sales price in August. Rounding up, coming up in at number 2, Minnetonka right there at $495,000, followed with Eden Prairie right on the heels at $464,000. And then you've got Hopkins at $380,000, almost half the price of Edina at the top. Here's what gets even more interesting. If you look at property appreciation values, and I know this is small, so we'll blow it up on screen here for you. Over the last 3 years, Eden Prairie on average has been appreciating at 0.6%. Okay, Minnetonka doing much better, appreciating at about 2.5%. Edina doing very well, appreciating about 6%. Hopkins appreciating at 11.8%, almost 12%. So double the next closest one. So you can start to see the opportunity. We're going to hone this in just for a second if we look specifically now at single family homes, because that is what most people purchase. So this is just single family homes across all price ranges, and you're going to see Hopkins does very well here too. Edina out front, absolutely insane. August of 2025, $875,000 to get into a single family home in Edina. Number 2 on this list is going to be Eden Prairie, $617,000 single family home. Minnetonka right there, $599,000, basically $600K. Hopkins, single family home, $425,000. And it's doing very well on the appreciation rating here as well. So the numbers bear it out, my friends. Hopkins is a sneaky good buy in a great location, with a much lower entry point than its more expensive fancy suburban brothers. Well, we moved south from St. Albans Street in northern Hopkins, crossed over Highway 7, and are now right down by Alice Smith Elementary, if you're following along on Google Maps. And we're now kind of right in the middle of Hopkins, and this is going to be what I would call a lot more quintessential Hopkins. You can see a difference in the neighborhoods already. And this neighborhood of what you're seeing around me at this location, this is going to be much more very typical of what you're going to get in Hopkins. Homes are going to be a bit closer together than the first home we looked at. Lots are going to be kind of in that 0.15, maybe up to 0.25 is going to be a bigger lot in Hopkins. Homes are going to be built anywhere from the 1900s up into the 1960s, most of them. You're going to find a lot of homes between that 1,500 and 2,000 square feet. A lot of 1 stories, 1 levels, a lot of 1.5 stories, some 2 stories sprinkled throughout. You will find a lot of detached garages, things like that. Love the build quality in these older homes. You get that older growth lumber, which in my opinion is a lot better than some of the new stuff. So the next home available for sale immediately to my right here with the white picket fence, great curb appeal, great landscaping, good looking home. 1.5 story built here in 1941. This is quintessential Hopkins, my friends. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, just said over 1,500 square feet. puts them right around $230 a square foot. My math feels a little sluggish today, but I think that's going to be in the ballpark for price per square foot. One car garage. These guys actually have an attached garage, which, as you can see, is kind of nice. Like I said, you'll find a lot of detached in Hopkins. So very quintessential Hopkins. We got two more to look at kind of right in the middle of town here at similar prices. So we're going to go hop over and show you guys next. And you guys will definitely see kind of these neighborhoods and homes in this part of Hopkins definitely look similar. All right, so we moved just 3 minutes down the street. Cross streets here are going to be 5th Avenue North and 1st Street. So this next home is going to be much closer to Hopkins Main Street. And Hopkins Main Street is absolutely one of the draws to Hopkins. Make no mistake about it. Home in question is this one behind me, built in 1952. This is a little bit different from most of what you're going to find in Hopkins. This is a one-level home, significantly larger than most, 2,700 square feet. It's got a 2-car attached garage. I was actually just talking to the owner, who's a super nice guy. He completely remodeled this property. So a 3-bed, 3-bath, listed and pending at $550,000, putting it just over $200 a square foot. Gets you this very nice, very prime located lot at home in Hopkins, Minnesota. We got one more to look at right in this neighborhood, then we're going to hop in back in the car and move just a little bit. All right, well, we just hopped out for our third home in this little chunk of Hopkins, and this is going to be the main residential area of Hopkins. It's going to be this section sandwiched in between Highway 7 and Excelsior Boulevard. So cross streets for this one are going to be 15th Avenue North and Main Street. So we're just a block off of Hopkins Main Street. And I will keep hammering on that. Hopkins Main Street, guys, is a differentiator with Hopkins versus these surrounding communities. A lot of these surrounding communities, while fantastic, feel like kind of bland suburbia. Hopkins has this great main street that's got a lot going on. And from this house, it's going to be just 100 yards down the street. So something to keep in mind. Last home in question for today is going to be this one built here right on the left. This is actually going to be a home built in 1918. So older home, obviously over 100 years at this point. Typical Hopkins home, 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,660 square feet, currently pending at $400K, puts it right around that $240 a square foot mark. Obviously, no doubt been renovated likely many times since 2018. But all three of these homes that we just looked at, all within 5 minutes of each other, all very close to Hopkins downtown Main Street and parks, making them walkable. So big value, close to amenities, walkable, super cool stuff. This is why Hopkins to me is just a great opportunity. Well, we hopped down to Southern Hopkins for our last stop on this tour. We went across Excelsior Boulevard, and cross streets here are going to be 11th Avenue South and Trailwood Avenue North. And Southern Hopkins has a bit of a different feel. You can probably see that just from the drive up. It's going to be a lot more townhomes, properties with HOAs, and you're going to find a lot more business parks and like that. So Southern Hopkins is a little bit of a different flavor, but you're going to still find some options for homes, and you'll find some fairly affordable ones down in here. So just to give you an example, there is currently a property pending in this complex where I am here. Pending is a 2-bed, 4-bath, pending at $250,000, putting that right around $155 a square foot. So significantly more affordable than the single family homes, not surprisingly. However, keep in mind that's going to come on these ones at least with a $400 a month HOA. And you can get into this complex. There's another one currently active right now, a 2-bed, 3-bath at 1,200 square feet, currently for sale at $195,000. These are built in the 70s. So you got options to get into Hopkins that are sub 200K. And I'm going to walk you over to the edge of this property just to show you what I like about these. Southern end of Hopkins means we're kind of bumping probably right up into Edina and Eden Prairie, and these would be two A-lister top-tier amenity suburbs. You're right on the doorstep with Hopkins, and you can make that short drive and use everything fancy they got over in Edina and Eden Prairie, but get these Hopkins real estate values. Here's the other side of this development. Hopkins, like so much of its brethren, they do it well. Green spaces everywhere, walking space, trails. If you know what you're doing and you know where you're looking, what you're looking for, you can do well across a variety of price points in Hopkins. So we're almost at the end of this video. I told you when we started, if you stuck around till the end, I was going to show you why Hopkins really delivers such a value. So we're going to hop into the computer here real quick, and I just want to hammer that home, and I think you'll see what I mean. All right, so like I teased, really want to take the last couple minutes of this video and show you why Hopkins, just besides from the monetary actual value, why Hopkins is such a sneaky good opportunity for those of you looking to get into the West Metro. We already talked about the real estate and the value. We know Hopkins is a winner there. The other thing about Hopkins is just going to be where it's situated. Hopkins is situated among the who's who in the West Metro. So just to Hopkins west, we're going to have Minnetonka. That's going to bring the Minnetonka School District, which you can enroll into from Hopkins. It's going to bring Lake Minnetonka, the fantastic parks, Wayzata, Excelsior, just to the west, right on the doorstep of Hopkins. You're right there, just not in Minnetonka. Immediately to the west, southwest of Hopkins is going to be Edina. Edina is going to bring their fantastic top-tier school districts, Southdale, Shopping, Braemar Golf Course, 50th in France. Hopkins is right on the doorstep. I mean, you're a 5 to 10 minute drive away. Southwest of Hopkins is going to be Eden Prairie, consistently ranked one of the best places to live in the country. You're 2 minutes away in Hopkins. Commuting, Hopkins is going to be even better from places like Minnetonka and Eden Prairie because you're just closer to downtown. So you get this A-level front row lifestyle in Hopkins that you get with Edina, Minnetonka, and Eden Prairie, these suburbs that are much more expensive, but you can get yourself from the real estate in Hopkins, which is right in the middle of all of these suburbs, get it for a lot less and still get access to all of their great amenities, open enroll into their school district. So to me, Hopkins is just this sneaky good buy in the West Metro. And there's pockets of it like you saw in this video where you can get the Minnetonka big lots, the big yards. You just got to know where you're looking for. That's where you want an agent. Love to help you. So that's why Hopkins is such a sneaky good buy. Well, I hope that really paints the picture. My friends, Hopkins absolutely should be on the radar. I'll tell you, just from living here and helping people make a move from out of state, most people aren't aware of it. We looked at the real estate values. They are significantly lower than most of the competing suburbs. You get access to all the same amenities. You could argue Hopkins' location is better than places like Minnetonka and Eden Prairie. It's got a fantastic main street. It's got a lot going on. This absolutely needs to be on the radar. Thanks for joining me. My name is Chris. I love getting out and showing you guys stuff like this. Contact information is all right here. It's also below. Drop us a line if we can ever help you out. Locals, love to hear from you guys. What do you love about Hopkins? It's honestly, it's a place that the more I learn about it, the more I like it. My name's Chris. We are out of here for now. We'll see you on the next video real soon.